And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got a special rumour. Not even a rumour. What am I on about? It's the truth at the moment. So, literally, as we're just about to go live, this is the reason why the streams are delayed a little bit. We found out that pretty much Dean Hammond, I keep saying Dean Hammond, Dean Smith, John Terry, and Shakespeare are going to join. Now, this was something that I've just found out just recently. Let me just play the clips for you so you've got the actual source. Again, there's few good sources when we come to talking about Leicester City. This is one of them. David Ornstein, again, one of them, just on BBC Radio Leicester. I'll give this a play. Again, it's very new at the moment. I'll just give you a play and hopefully I'm just going to check the tab. Yep. And then hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
Leicester were talking to a number of candidates. He was one of them. We've seen names left, right, and centre, including Rafa Benitez. But the one that has come to the fore in the last, I guess, hours and days is Dean Smith. And the talks have accelerated, from what I can gather, over the course of the early part of today, to the extent that everything is now pretty much in place. And Dean Smith is set to be appointed on an interim basis until the end of the season. He'll be joined by his trusted sidekick, Craig Shakespeare, which will be good news to a lot of Leicester fans. He's still on great terms with people high up at the club. And also John Terry, reuniting with him. They were together at Aston Villa. They then went their separate ways. Terry's been in a coaching consultancy to the Chelsea Academy since January 2022. Smith obviously went off with Shakespeare to Norwich. That didn't go to plan. But it seems the band is going to get back together and they will hope to save Leicester's Premier League status.
So obviously that's a good thing. That's from David Ornstein, which is obviously a fantastic. We'll get into each of the people and what they do. But again, this is just something that is pretty much breaking at the moment. Great to hear from Leicester City perspective. And also, again, just to show you some other bits that are happening at the moment. Again, Fabrizio Romano tweeted something. So it isn't 100% complete as of yet. However, just breaking a couple of minutes ago as well. Again, I'll get to your comments in just a second. What's it called? Again, David Ornstein and Rob Tanner tweet about this as well. Again, they agreed to join Dean Smith as interim manager and John Terry as part of it as well. And finally, let me get to the last one. And the last one, again, we've touched on, but there's a separate article which I've not had a chance to read, which is this one. So Rob Tanner, again, we've had him on the channel before, as you know, has tweeted this. Leicester City have found their interim team, massive 8 games ahead. 8 games, lads, and ladies, but mostly lads, let's be real, that are looking to try and, again, appoint John Terry, Craig Shakespeare. What does this mean for you? Get it in the comments down below. I'll try to respond as many as possible. A couple of people have mentioned it again. To be honest, I'm pleased considering 24 hours ago, it was Jesse Marsh. I mean, we tweeted about this without getting too... I'm proud of what we've done, but we managed to break this story that he was turning down Leicester City before Romano, before John Percy. You can go look on our Twitter as well. I don't know if he'll show you the hour, but we did it maybe even like half an hour or so before. So obviously that's a good thing. From our perspective, I'm glad we didn't get Jesse Marsh. I think it's the wrong type of manager at the wrong time. This management should have been done earlier on, so we were more safe. We're going to be looking at the table, where it is, what fixtures we've got, a thing later on as well. So again, get your thoughts down below. And Ethan's gone again. I wouldn't mind Rafa. He's a bigger risk than them 3 of the season. Exactly. And what we've heard is that the problem with Rafa was his wages. He wanted high wages. The problem is we gave Brendan Rodgers a higher wage. We gave him a lot of money, and other teams have gone, hang on, you're charging that much. I should be getting my fair share. And you want me to do a job? So we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot by giving Brendan Rodgers a bigger contract that will have an impact as we go along. We've set the expectation there. So trying to come down from that is hard. When you're going into a job and you know somebody in your same position is getting this amount of, say, they're getting £100,000, I wish, and then you're coming in at 60. They go, well, that guy was on 100. Why would I want to come in? So Rafa was the main problem. The way he ended at Everton, obviously, it's just, I don't know what the Everton fans had, the Everton board had in mind. It's all awful, but yeah, I think at the situation when I first heard about Dean Smith, I went, really? Now that I've had time to think, sit on it, and I didn't want to be very reactionary to. I wanted to give it some time, and also I was busy this weekend, hence why there's not been any content enjoying the bank holiday away. So there's a couple of facts I want to go. Craig Shakespeare knows the club, as they mentioned in the video. David Ornstein mentioned the fact that Leicester City have a player that is held in high regard, that is rated by the squad, that is a good that matches the Leicester City. My thing is, again, answer this question down below if you do know, if you have a feeling, would you take him? So let's say best case scenario, Graham Potter, which come on to in a little bit, probably in the summer as well. Graham Potter was that guy they probably want in the summer. Do you think that Craig Shakespeare stays? Because he was essentially part of the backroom staff of Steve Walsh Senior, was as well. Obviously, he went on. He's doing his own thing now. Do you think he'll stay? Again, leave your comments down below. I'll try and get to them. One player I'm going to get into, again, a player at the moment, John Terry. One thing that I'll try and bring up an article again and send it to me. Why don't I have a drink? Something's going on my throat. Yeah. Sorry about that. In terms of Dean Smith is a longer term manager. As it said here, from what I was reading from Villa fans, if you look at his record, I'll get up his Wikipedia. He's been in a job for a long. He's Pearson-esque, where he needs a little bit more time to find out what has happened. What has happened at all the clubs. Dean Smith. I keep wanting to, I don't know if anybody else is doing this. I keep saying Dean Hammond when I'm talking about it, and I keep searching for stuff. I did it at the beginning of the show. So some of the things, obviously, he looks like he's the managerial career at the moment. There was Leicester that somebody's taken that down. He needs time to develop, and he's obviously a good manager, but we have 8 games and we are not giving a lot of time. If we look at his playing career, managerial career, Walsall 4 years, Brentford 3 years, Aston Villa 3 years. Obviously, it didn't work out at Norwich, but I've got a feeling that we're not going to return. We're going to see the Aston Villa and the Brentford. When we're looking at this time, he had the opportunity and the time to really bed in, really secure himself in his managerial career. In that sense, for Walsall and Brentford and Aston Villa, he had time. He's got 8 games. It's not a lot of time. However, I don't want to be too negative about it. We've still got a lot of good things that we could potentially do with this squad and this team. And we just need a bit of confidence. I'll bring up Jason Bourne, who had a really interesting thing he was going to say about turning it around and how it's going to take. Because a little interesting from that BBC, from the Telegraph article, I'll bring this up. Again, we will give to your comments. Some of the ones, because so Jason put again from the Telegraph article, the feeling of the club is that the players need a jolt and to get out of them. The mood is complacency that has engulfed the entire squad. It's engulfed the squad and believes that it's not going to go down, which is pathetic. We are going down if this continues. Now, with these 3 people in, this should help. We just need some motivation. These players are good enough. These players are good enough to get top 5, potentially, and compete for Champions League spots. I know we didn't get it, but they're good enough. So the idea is complacency, I think, was brought in by the manager, the previous manager, who we shall not speak of. No, he's not Voldemort. But here's a good thing as well. There's been problems, and hopefully a manager just clang heads together. Come on, lads, let's get it together. John Terry will be great for our defenders. I think so as well. Hopefully, he can teach them a little bit how to work together, what a great partnership looked like. And you're looking at the likes of Harry Suter, probably growing up watching John Terry. Walt Fast would know who John Terry is and what he would do. You might see a change in shape. Villa set up from what I believe in like a 4-2-3-1 going through, but John Terry hopefully will be there just to coach the basics of defending, making sure that people are making the right decisions at the right time. We've got the players for it. Suyunchu, whatever will happen with him. Then you've got Suter coming back into the squad. Fast probably starts. As Fast as Suter probably your back two. Hopefully they get a bit of time and just get him going, get him some good time, because that's what I'm hoping for. And another player, again, Ethan mentioned, was about Maddison and getting the best out of Maddison like he did with Grealish. I'm hoping so. Now, it wasn't from reading and speaking to Villa fans, because again, I've spoke to a couple just before. Again, what do you think of him? Didn't manage to get it on video, but they said, look, he'll be a good appointment. He's more of a long-term appointment. Is he the short-term? They're not convinced, but I don't think we're going to go for that. We'll have to see. Shakespeare, again, as Ethan was saying, Shakespeare was quality. He's not a first-man manager. I think he knows he's an assistant manager, which is okay. If we can break out that Shakespeare, then that's it. If we could break out that Shakespeare that went on the run after Ranieri was when we fell into the relegation zone and we went, I think, 8 wins in a row or something stupid like that. We just need points. And the table is slowly running away from us. Crystal Palace, I think, are safe. Potentially Leeds are another one. We'll have a look at the table a little bit later on. But that matters a difference as well. We are in a really tight position. Has been official. Might sound like before it was a done deal. Yes, it seems like it, but similar to the Southampton deal, we couldn't agree. We didn't give him a good enough contract, but also he has this habit of going, I want this. We can't give it him. He walks away. It's just one of those ones. So, yeah, I think that was the issue at the moment. Gray's in the chat. Shout out, Gray. Appreciate your comments and everything on the videos. Really, really appreciate it. Even Neil, we have to get behind. And that's the thing. I'm not trying to write them off. We've had so many months of just pretty much dreadful football with a few games of brilliance in between to really perk us up and think this is what this team are capable of. But we have to get behind them. And the game against Man City is going to be tough. We're going to get we're going to get a Man City fan on, probably Daps, to do a preview. So make sure to stay tuned sometime this week to be a bit of attention to that. But then we'll talk about the Aston Villa. The Man City game later. Matt's here as well. Goody, likely is just better than none. Best we could expect. Welcome back, Shakespeare. I think Shakespeare's going to get a big welcome. I think you're right. Get a really big round of applause when he comes back. I think he's a good person. I think he's got a good reputation. I don't know if they get Premier League winners medals, but he's part of that Premier League winners squad. Is in the management staff. He knows these players. The caveat to that, and he's got a good relationship with the higher ups at Leicester. The caveat to that was, how many years ago was that now? It's like, I can't do maths. 7 years ago now, to 2016. Times have changed. Times have moved on. Things have come and gone as we've gone through. And Shakespeare, who was there? Who's there? Daniel Amate, since he was there. Michael Bryan's not even there. Jamie Vardy. Is that the only two? Trying to think now. I think it's literally just Daniel Amate and who's a bit hot player even back then, and Jamie Vardy. Now, Craig Shakespeare will know how to get the best out of Vardy. He has lost a bit of pace, Jamie Vardy, but these are the players we need to make sure we go for. Cherry gives a kill the backside. I'm hoping, mate. I'm really hoping that that's the case. And again, we're talking about John Terry reshaping our awful defense. It is bad, but this is where we just need a little. The thing is, the confidence-wise is the main issue I'm having with them. The players themselves are good players. These players could get into Champions League clubs in other countries, in my opinion, and some of them even in the Premier League. We've got a good squad, but we need to get safe. And I think, what do you guys think? This is a good comment as well. Do you think thankfully it never happened? I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of glad that Jesse Marsh didn't happen. However, I was willing to back him if he came in for the short term. And I don't think he was happy probably about if we go down to Championship, what they were going to offer us. Brian's as well here. Thank you, Brian, for your comment. Smith is a decent manager. Shakespeare was well, and obviously that's what we need again. So the kind of three positions. Bearing in mind, we've lost the fitness coach. We've lost. I've forgot what his name is now. The guy that was Brendan Rodgers' right hand man. Not Adam Sadler. There was another, I can't remember what his name is now, the one that was there, and Brendan Rodgers has gone. So we do need them three players. And we've lost Colo Torre, we never replaced him. So defensive coach, we've got a set piece coach in there that's doing that hopefully is doing the business as well. We just need some of those people there. And I'm really hoping that it comes true. I feel more happy about Daniel's in the chat. Feel more happy about Shaky and JT are also coming on board. Yeah, if he was coming on his own, it was a bit different. And the thing is, the other people we've got, Martin Glover, I want to say Pep Linders, wrong person. The coach, the set piece coach we got in this year, they know what they're doing. We just have to stay safe. And we've got a good enough squad to do it. All we need is a little bit of belief. The littlest bit, just to pick them up. Because what happened at Liverpool, it took Klopp, who is a better manager, who's one of the best managers in the world. It took him how long for them to get him playing the football that he wants and kind of drag that out of them that we are not very good. And we don't have the time. We don't have the time for that. We could potentially do it next season a little bit. We can't afford to do that now because we won't be in the Premier League. And I mean that honestly. The gap, I was speaking to, I met a few people down. I was in London this weekend. I met a few Chelsea fans. I met a few like Arsenal fans and things that do content. And they said to them, and we've seen, what's his face? Sean said it before, who's on the channel, and Ali has both said it before. We didn't realize how bad Leicester was. They knew they were down there, but didn't realize how bad they were. And it's one of the things where when I've looked at Match of the Day, when I've watched most of the games I can't watch unless we did well. And watching the end seconds, yeah, Leicester aren't very good. Oh, and now at the moment they're saying red flags, red alert, which is again scary. I think this is point. Shout out Manoj, hopefully a good man. Showing the highlights. So comes in and sits down the highlights of Spurs and Villa. Please, again, you need to. Players need to believe. Also says Ted also says something. Yeah, we haven't gone for Ted Lasso. If from what Alex said as well. Shout out to Alex. Hopefully he's doing well. But yes, I think hopefully we should be okay now. Top has to take responsibility. Top, the board, the players, the previous manager, all of them have to take accountability. All of them. Because this shouldn't happen. If we slump to 14th and we're safe, we go, look, it wasn't a good season, but with this, that, and the other. We've been fighting relegation for the longest of times. Pretty much all season, let's be honest. And now we are really in the dirt. Possibility for Shaky to stay. Yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Because we haven't got enough time. We're too fragile. We should keep in the championship next season. That's not the mentality that we need right now. If we do get that, then we can kind of chop and change and talk about that. But this is, I think this is a good point by Monage. The fearless fox and fox never quit. It says it when they come out of the tunnel. This is what you need to exemplify. At the moment, they're not. And part of it is because of the programming of the previous manager. We have to just get this out of them. When they click, as we've seen this season, they're a great team. They're a really great team. We're just, I don't know. So, they are a good team for some reason. At the moment, not happening. We are great. We are good enough to stay up 100%. There are 3 worst teams, but the 2 worst teams that people guaranteed that were going down. Pretty much every I've been watching the football. Just interesting to hear from our perspective, and also from other teams' perspective. It's interesting to hear from other people from other teams, what they think. And it was Southampton, Bournemouth. Everybody, including myself, saying Southampton, Bournemouth, who's the third spot? Southampton, Bournemouth, who were the third spot? And the third spot, but then my point was, we've dropped 6 points to each of them now. We've lost to teams below us. So, yeah. Try not to get too down about it. Because it's been we just have to go and look around. Sean's in as well. Give the attacker for you to play. Pretty much, let them do what they do best. Let them do, because they are the squad in general. Let me just get it up, because this is something that I have to show you, that we are a good squad. We have players that are contract in the summer. We will have to bring in a load of new players. Top needs to get his stuff together, the board, because the situation they've got themselves into by being nice isn't good enough. Is not good enough. It's not. So let me just show you some of the squad just to go through. Danny Ward, Iverson is obviously number keeper now. Iverson, James Justin obviously injured. But look at these players we've got. Again, Byron Bertrand, yeah, whatever. Johnny Evans injured, but Fast, Soyuncu, Suter, Christensen, Marte, yeah, on the backup. He's forgotten about. Pereira, defenders. We can play a back 4 and get something from them. And then Castagne's there. Again, Luke Thomas to be another one. fair few players there. Again, about half of them which just need Xing off. Let's be honest. In terms of they're not good enough, they're not getting the squad. They're not good squad players. They're midfielders. Barnes, again, Tillemans is still out injured. Maddison had a bit of a KDH comes back into the squad now that he's finished from his 1-match suspension. Mendy, Pratt needs to get a better role. Samore's there. I know somebody's put in the chat about Samore. Amati Samore finished, and I've got no. I'm not saying that they are. We need to just be a little bit better at what we're doing. I wouldn't say Samore's finished. I don't know why. I think it doesn't help that your manager wanted to get rid of you. Soyuncu was another one. Brendan Rodgers has his own ego problems. And also, just to let you guys know as well, kind of exclusive, Brendan Rodgers apparently at the second stage interview for the Spurs job. If that, again, exclusives, make sure you hit that like button. Really, really appreciate it. I'm no good at plugging the channel, but I really appreciate you guys here as well. We had 40 people in the chat. Really, again, appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for those of you tuning in. You're probably around the situation as well. Anyway, let me get back to this as my brain is all over the place. Forwards, Daka, Vardy, again, Tete being like a left, and Vardy, Nacho. That squad's good, man. That squad's good to compete for top 10. Not compete for relegation. Somebody just needs to give them a bit of belief and just go, come on. Come on, lads. We can do something here. Fox in the chat. I'll make sure to link you. Jeff's channel, fantastic. Make sure you go and check it. One of our Foxes from the US. Really good channel, Fox Report. I recently jumped on his live after the Aston Villa game. So if you want to see that, me on his channel, make sure you go and check over there. Really good, nice. Really nice guy. And really knows his stuff. Intrigued to see what Chester would wear Leicester clothing. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. Get us defending. I don't care what you wear. Wear a green screen suit. Don't care. Just get us. Do your job properly. I don't care what you wear. Do your job properly. Evening, Fox. The Fox Report. Yeah, it's evening to Fox Report as well. Surely Charlotte will return. Who plays on the side then? Suter and Soyuncu? It depends what Dean sees in him. Dean might see something. Go, look, you're a player. You are going in the summer, probably to Atletico Madrid. I think that's all been signed. We've all seen that in January. Give us one last hurrah. Give us a chance to play for the shirt. Keep us up and then go for free. And we go, thank you for your services. Character return. Do you think that Evans Vardy will be part of our coaching team when they retire? Apparently, Evans is doing his training badges at the moment. Jamie Vardy, I think, will go over to Rochester Rhinos. Again, I don't have any data to back this up, just a gut feeling. Get his last money, then come on back and figure out something else afterwards. Again, he's got a stake in the team as well. So, yeah, that's too early to think of now. We need to stay safe. That's the main thing. The water is coming up to, like, imagine if we were underwater. The water is coming up and we are up to our necks. We can still swim and save ourselves. We've just got to, again, believe. We have to pull the right. Hopefully, this is the life raft we need. And hopefully, Shakespeare can come in and goes, look, guys, we know what we're doing. Let's get on with it. Ndidi was there when Craig took over. Actually, that's a good point. He was there. I was thinking about the title-winning season, but you're right. Ndidi was there as well. Oh, Fox in the boxes. Hey, great to see you, man. Hopefully, you're good. See you on Twitter all the time. It's fantastic. You were one of the first fans to follow us on Twitter as well, so I really appreciate you. I bet his appointment because Marsh is because of Terry and Shakespeare. I think that's the thing. I think Dean himself isn't it, but I think the people around him. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer as well. Chris Davis, that was the name of him. I kept having Adam Sadler, and I know it wasn't it. Yeah, and hopefully hard to beat. Just make us defensively solid and make us, again, the Shakespeare brings the charisma, the mentality. He knows where these are. It is a new training ground, but he knows these players a little bit more as well. I was watching a video by Vizer as well, who was mentioning about there's a little bit of separation at the training ground. The old training ground there was less rules about phones, people sitting together, people putting away and now there's less camaraderie at the changing room. I don't know how true that is, but that's something that he mentioned. Lars Knutson, again, I'm forgetting all the names in. Ethan, you're on fire, mate. If you ever want to come on the channel, just let me know. Yeah, the set piece coach, Lars Knutson. Again, we've looked at what we require as well. Don't think the Fort Gas every game is a must win, pretty much at the moment. So, I mean, you guys are flying in with your comments. Really, really appreciate it. Vaughn's here as well. What formation style do you think we could play? I think we'll switch. We'll talk about this more when we do the preview of the Villa game. Why do I keep saying Villa? We keep the Villa of the Man City game. I think he'll stick to a 4-2-3-1. I think we'll play Vardy up top, Maddison through the middle, Tete, Barnes. The double pivot will be interesting. I think KDH and then Diddy get it. And the back two, I would like to see Suyuncu have one last hurrah, but we need to play safe. Suter takes that position, and then we go Ricardo and Castagna. Also Christensen as our right back, as our left back. And then Iverson in goal. I think that's how we'll set up as well. Then we've got Antonios here. And just make sure to go and follow the Greek Foxes. Really good group, one of the best groups in the UK, outside the UK for Leicester content. I don't think this is the right direction. Signing's only 2 months when you get to like President Benitez. Yeah, as we mentioned before, Benitez does seem like the signing that they struggled on money and they couldn't get him in as well. So overall, but yeah, make sure you go subscribe to the Hellnick Foxes. I normally, if you look at me, I'm normally wearing their stuff. Maybe about 20% of the time I'm doing streams. The hoodies and stuff, you'll see them just a little bit lower. But yeah, they're great guys as well. If they're coming down to the ground, make sure to go meet them. They're fantastic people. Forest only have United and Liverpool in the next two matches. They will finish 18th. You are the believer, and I'll take you for your name. Let's go through them now. Let's not muck around too much in terms of looking at the first team. Let's look at the amount of points we've got, what we need. And we went through this on Ant's channel a few weeks back. I think on the international break, now we're going to be looking at, again, where we are. Going to scroll right to the bottom. One win. I think the magical. So there's certain teams we're looking at them. Crystal Palace 33. Let's all agree they're safe. Chelsea again. They've got to be careful, bro. If they keep losing like that, my God. Then after that, it gets sticky. There's a group of them, 30, 30, 30, 29. What the advantage of us is it's literally turned into two different leagues. Now, it's not going to be that different, but Wolves, West Ham, Bournemouth. Everton are getting brought into it slowly. West Ham have one game in hand, by the way. I know I predicted West Ham to go down, but things look like they've just picked up ever so slightly and they're just drifting away. It is 3 points difference between Everton and West Ham. But one thing to mention as well, our goal difference, -12, will come in handy at some stage when the points are small. We just need wins to pull us out of this position. Forest could be one. It's so tough, man. It's so tough to try and expect somebody to come in and go, wow, we're going to try and achieve this. Man, it's so tough. The run-ins aren't easy either. Let's look at, for example, Everton. They're running to the end of the season. Their next 8 games. Fulham, which will be a tough game. Again, lost to Man United recently. Crystal Palace. Everton and Crystal Palace are on fire, by the way. Roy's playing some phenomenal football. Newcastle, then us. We have to play them. 6-pointer. Then we've got us, Brighton, Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth. Everton, Bournemouth, last game of the season. Boy, it's going to be tough. They're one of them. Nottingham Forest, let's look at their fixtures. Nottingham Forest, Man United, bearing in mind, they're strong at home. Let's look what they've got. They just lost to Aston Villa away. They're rubbish on the road. Nottingham Forest, Man United at home. Yep. I think Liverpool away. Liverpool away. Brighton at home. Brentford away. Southampton at home. That could be ideally, we want a draw from that, don't we? Chelsea, again, is shocking, but not sure. Arsenal at home, again, very tough game. And then Nottingham Forest away. We spoke to Ali about this, and he goes, because they're in a good position, they shouldn't be taking their foot off the gas a little bit more as well. So they might, unfortunately, gift them 3 points on the final day. Ali, if you're watching, man, tell your team to kind of level up. They're the two. Let me just scroll down, and I'll come back to some of the content at the moment. Wolves and Everton. Oh, Jeff's here. Hello, Jeff. You're right, mate. I didn't realize you were here.
Hey.
Sorry, I was just looking through the Premier League at the moment, and
No
man,
worries,
it's tight.
Man, no worries. Yeah, very tight.
Yeah, just going through some of those. Yeah, sorry, mate.
No, I was gonna say we all had a different mindset after the match against Bournemouth, but now with this whole Jesse March not being appointed manager anymore, Dean Smith interim manager until the end of the season, that's brought in something, some hope as we get to the end of the season.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping so as well. And again, just some little bit of lift. Joe, I've got Aston Villa team to chat again. Thank you for your views as well, Lee. I think I'm pretty much. I'm just checking the comments. I'm pretty sure he's there, but much better manager when Terry was his assistant, which is again great to hear as well. As soon as Terry left, we looked awful. I'll be shocked if he didn't keep you up. I mean, to be fair, again, that's a good thing, obviously, Jeff, that we're seeing these comments from looks like a Villa fan. But I'm shocked we're in this position to begin with. Are we too shocked? But we shouldn't be in this position to begin with.
Yeah. And certainly, with Dean Smith and his team, they work together. Who knows if we were to appoint Jesse March, who would he bring on? And that certainly would, take some time to adjust with the team. But with Dean Smith, he has his men, and he knows what to do. Craig Shakespeare knows how we play, know about the club, and they have experience in saving teams from relegation, like he did with Aston Villa.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Again, he let them survive, and he did well with them when he was at Villa, but he had time to implement. He doesn't have time. He has to hit the ground running. But just in general for you, who are your three to go down? Again, I've looked through Everton, I've looked through Nottingham Forest. Them two are tight for me. Is anybody else that you think will go down?
So I was saying in my last stream for the post match against Bournemouth, I'd say now as Crystal Palace won their match, West Ham winning as well, it might be just a battle between us, Forest, and Everton. Southampton, I think for sure will be down. Bournemouth, and then it might be between us, Everton, and Leeds perhaps. They did lose against Crystal Palace. So,
yeah, that's it's tight. It's tight. It really is. Yes. So we just go again. It was coming tight, but if we get those couple of wins again with our fixtures coming up soon, obviously we're literally writing off the Man City game. Wolves again. You mentioned Leeds and Everton. Them 3 games are crucial. We could pick up if we could pick up. Ideally, we get to 34 points, and I think that keeps us safe. I don't know if that's the case, but it is coming tight at the moment. What was I looking at saying as well? Forest again, 18th. Somebody puts in the comments as well. Aren't miracle workers? Our players are good technically. Most of them are Premier League outfits. They're too soft. I don't see it changing the 8 games. Again, some people are free to have that opinion, but we have to be a little bit more positive. I've been there when we were going down to League One, and there was a notion that these players aren't good enough. This manager is trying, but we're just going to settle for it. I'm not letting that do that again. In the same way that we need to go and win. So yeah, I'm with you. Ryan Burge will be trading over a month or two. Goes and collects wages. Would love to be in a position. Yeah, trust me, mate. It's just get gone in the summer. We need to rip up a lot of it and come back down to it. Has he appointed? They haven't appointed officially as of yet. The club hasn't released it, but it's pretty much as good when you're looking at the likes of Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, what's his face? Rob Tanner being another one as well now. John Percy selling the right signals as well again. So we will have to see. Iverson has been our best player since taking off Ward. Can't blame our bloopers. Best shot since Casper. What do you think of that, Jeff? I mean, obviously he's been a very good. He's been. I didn't manage to watch the game, but again, I don't want to touch too much because I've just watched the people's reactions and it was awful. But how was Iverson in the game?
I think he saved a lot of goals that could have been an easy 3-4-0 for Bournemouth. And also the previous match that he played, he made some numerous saves that who knows Danny Ward perhaps may have not saved.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's the minimum we could say as well. And we are linked to obviously we're linked with some good players. The players they're looking at from like Feyenoord that we're Kirkju was looking at. We're looking at the Valencia keeper. I can't pronounce his name. I do know his name, but I can't remember his name how it's pronounced. We just got to stay safe. And this is what I mean. We're slowly drowning, but it can be saved. Again, we're coming up to our necks in water at the moment. And then this is it. Again, the benefit of having a new manager is not throwing players under the bus. I don't think Dean I keep saying all the day, Dean Henderson, Dean Hammond, Dean Smith, in this case, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to do that. And Villa fans were disappointed when he left. But we will have to go. Again, just so a couple of people have said about the midfield. Obviously, Jeff, it looks like you play a 4-2-3-1. Who would you have as your? We're pretty much guaranteed that Maddison's playing, but who would be your two centre mids if it was your choice?
Well, is Harvey Barnes injured? I didn't hear much about that after, but he's not going to play.
No, they're not injured, but the midfield centre mids.
Oh, centre mids. Okay, yeah. Well, certainly I did say that with KDH's absence against Bournemouth, you do see that big difference when he's not there. He's a very attacking minded midfield, and I think he's very important. Sure, he makes some mistakes, but he makes a big difference when he's playing. And I for sure now thankful that he's back for Man City. Don't expect us to get a positive point. We'll see what happens. But for sure I would include KDH and Ndidi, who I think have been doing great.
KDH and Ndidi. I think that's exactly the same pairing as I said as well. And I'm with you. Samore, it's not the time to experiment. We've got to. One thing as well, Brendan Rodgers kept chopping and changing. Keep the same damn team, play them week in, week out until then. Build them relationships and stuff. That sounds good. Matt's in the comments again. Warming to again. We're warming to it as well. I think it's the best scenario that we've had out of all the options that we've had. Shame we didn't come months ago. Exactly. I think we're all in that agreement that this all happened way too late. Now we're in this position. If it happened a couple of months ago, okay, we have time to turn on the season, rebuild, have new ideas, new people. They were available, but again, the club has to learn their lessons from this. They've been beautifully managed over the last few years. The last couple of years has not been good, and we're feeling the full force of it now as well. Bournemouth still lose most of the time. Yeah, but it's whoever loses the least at this period of time, isn't it, Jeff, at the moment? Whoever loses the least stays up, because it's not a battle for points in that sense. It's a battle for points, but it's about who loses the least at the bottom of the table.
Yeah. But I always say, it's only a 5-6 point difference between where we are and 14th, 13th place. That's 2 games, 2 victories. We win. Other teams that are above us, they lose, and you see the big switch there. So 8 matches left. There's not, on paper, there's not much of a drastic, for sure that we're definitely gonna get relegated. No, we just have to be concentrated. Of course, we have, we don't have that much time, but it's all about what Dean Smith comes, if he is coming, what he brings on, and just get these players in that right mindset that we have 8 matches, 24 points to gain from them. We probably have the best schedule of all the teams that are currently fighting on relegation to end the season. So we have to take advantage of that. And yeah, like I said, go game by game.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to do that at the moment, because there's a lot to play for in terms of Premier League. And the fact is, we've taken money out, or we've put money to loans against like 24, 25. Again, shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit there. But we shouldn't be. Again, there's the the malaise of we are too good to go down. Ask old school Leicester City fans. They will tell you what going down is like. We've seen it in 2003. We've seen it in 2003. We've seen it 2003, 2004. God, I can't remember now. And then we went back down to Championship. We've seen it go to League One. You can't take anything for granted. The Premier League is ruthless, as we've seen. And in this January, the teams are strengthened. Bournemouth has strengthened. Southampton has strengthened. Teams have strengthened in that window. Leeds bought in McKennie. Unbelievable. Like on loan. I know it was on loan, but still, like to go for that position, fantastic. Just looking at some of the comments. Chris in the chat, hopefully you're good, mate. And Yumi had the same idea. I saw you message just as I was about to go live, and I was like, I didn't have time to respond. But if you do want to jump on, do message me again, and I'll send you the link. Are Fulham still without Mitrovic? I think he's banned until the end of the season because he's out for like 10 games because of that reason as well. There's a time and a place. Tyler's about. I would like to see Martian manager. Obviously, got time for that. Bring a new system guy with it. Cannot bring a system guy in with 8 games. Exactly. And we've just got to. All we need is somebody, Jeff, just to give them confidence. And I think the main guy may not even be Dean. It might just be Shakespeare that keeps us up.
Yeah. He certainly was there when they sacked Ranieri, and we ended up playing Sevilla. I think that one of those next matches, and then we qualified into the next stage of the Champions League. Certainly, I don't wouldn't say, or I wouldn't want Shakespeare to be the head coach. I think when he was under us, we kind of played not very attractive football, but it got the job done. For sure. Now we need to play great football, organized football, and that's where Dean Smith comes in. Certainly with a few pointers from Craig Shakespeare, but yeah, definitely someone who has that experience with us, alongside someone who knows how to save their team, or has been in a situation of relegation battle till literally the end of the match day.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think as well, one thing to remember, people are forgetting, Craig Shakespeare was there when we had the Great Escape. I've just clicked that now. So he knows what we're doing. We were playing better football, but he knows bringing the team together. So in that case, it can be a vital person for this as well. What was he called? For 3 years, yeah. Trying not to touch on the Bournemouth again, trying to keep it a bit positive here. So I appreciate everybody's comments as well. Has he been? Not officially. On the temporary basis, there is an option to extend if things go well. And I wouldn't be completely against that if there are the same managers available now as there are in the summer. I've got a feeling that they're going to go for Potter. So I don't know if you think, again, what you think about the same thing as well, Jeff. Temporary.
Yeah, depends how we finish off. Certainly if we go down, I don't think Potter's gonna want us. But yeah, who knows? Like I said, I'm glad that we're getting something for the temporary basis till the end of the season. Certainly don't want to make a drastic change and say, hey, be our manager for the next 3 years, because that's just gonna, mess up a couple of things. But the way things are going now, glad that Marsh is no longer part of this, and we're on to an interim manager like Dean Smith.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. You can get more of an interim. I'm with you. 4-4-2 ball from now on. Whatever keeps us safe, man. We can play 6 at the back as long as we get points. That's all I care about. Rewrite in the summer. Benicio to come in. It is what it is. I think everything's good from that perspective. Ryan's in the chat. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Thank you for your comment. Good appointment. He's not managed to get an instant hit. Takes time to build a project. I read that same tweet as well. Norwich 3 years, Villa 2 years. Yeah, it's exactly what I mentioned, mate. And if you go back in the stream, you would see that. I think with Villa, with Dean Henderson, you are right that he's kind of a project manager and he manages longer term things. However, out of the managers we have at the moment, do you want Hasenhüttl? No. Do you want Jesse Marsh? No. Do you want Rafa? It's too expensive. Okay, then Dean Henderson sees like the optimal fit, and the fact he's bringing Shakespeare and John Terry together will be a good case as well. So. And people are talking about what's it called as well? Terry's one of the greatest defenders of the Premier League era. If anybody has any title of defense, it's Terry. Let's hope so, because that's what we need drastically in the team. Hopefully, it will get the best out of us. So anything that we could do to stay safe, Anything, if we need to change formation, if we need to go to 5 at the back, play Sam Allardyce and get a cheeky goal on the counter, don't care. Get the goals. Pretty much that's everything. I think I've kind of annihilated the chat as well. Again, if we go down, I don't want to mention that just yet. If we go down the summer, then I'll talk about it. But until then, I believe in the team and owners, hopefully, to take us forward. But any final thoughts, Jeff, before we round up? Because it's just been one of those like, okay, we've got some good stuff. We just need to get there at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, whoever we get, I hope that decision has already been made and they've already been training with the squad.
Yeah.
So, the more we can get someone new in before this match against Man City, the better.
Yeah, that's the case. But yeah, again, thank you, Jeff. Again, appreciate you logging on. I'll put your link in the description. But again, there's 50 people live, so make sure to go to Jeff's channel. But where can they find you, Jeff?
Yeah, Box Report, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube.
Sounds good. Yeah, and we'll be back again. So make sure you go check out Jeff's channel. I'll leave the link in the description for you. Also, again, we'll be back hopefully on Wednesday or Thursday with a preview with Daps from Never a Foul. You're a big fan of the channel. And we'll be back with we've just got to get the Man City game over and done with. Then we can concentrate on the mini league that we've got. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. See you on the next video. So goodbye.